Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. I see that many of us are becoming either more divided, some are feeling backstabbed. I know I'm feeling backstabbed because it's really crazy how before the election, and also one reason why I have the Black Woman Versus series is because we kept telling you. Some were yelling it from the rooftops. I know since I'm still kind of a nobody on the platforms and everything, not many people were going to hear me, but I did say it. And I did point out crucial moments within current events that show and prove that, yeah, America still does not like black people, but they don't like people of color too. But no one listened to us. And some still thought that as long as they cuddled up to MAGA and or conservative white people, that would then mean that they were part of their demographic, their group, their posse, their whatever. I just find it kind of sad now because now we have parts of different communities who are now looking at us, telling us to fix the problem. Not just black women, black people, but we told you. We told you. And so it's really irritating and frustrating when you guys are now looking at us, telling us to fix the problem. When, with even Black Lives Matter, they kept trying to point things at us, put us down, tear us down, and things. And then even when it's protests, have you guys noticed when people of color and black people go protest how things are different from when non-people of color go and protest? Have you seen the patterns? Have you seen the patterns? And some conservatives and some people are going to say, oh, that's because black people and people of color are dot, dot, dot. Yeah. Bigotry is just, yeah. Sometimes I wonder if it's contagious because of how our country is continuing to see us. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because remember, I broke up with a guy whose mother told me the only reason I got into college is because I'm black. A woman who she would watch Fox News or watch the news, and if she ever saw a black person commit a crime, she would look at me. Well, at least you're not one of them. Then during Black Lives Matter, she told me I was racist because I understood and I am with Black Lives Matter. And even the fact that I told her about when that Flint police officer fondled me and treated me horribly. And then even the fact when, or the reason, because I had my college graduation tassel on my rearview mirror. And she was like, well, that just means you were breaking the law. Ha ha ha. Okay, yeah, I still haven't told that full story. I still haven't told that full story. Okay, so here is another petty story about Mr. No Heart's mother because, oh, in my opinion, in my opinion, she is a no good, bigoted, heartless, terrible human being. It's like, I still will never forget when I broke up with him and I told her I was going to break up with him. She was just like, she told me I was the best thing that ever happened to him. But I think she only said that because I was somebody who was trying to build him up, trying to make him a better man, trying to encourage him. And I don't think she's used to women trying to make her son better. And I think with all of my efforts, he was still determined to be a no good fool, like lazy, ridiculous, and always begging me for money, even though, yeah, let's just, when I go back to talking about my, let's see, my uplifting or me Ah, me developing myself, my new identity, because I was undiagnosed when I dated him. I was undiagnosed when I dated majority of the men. And I am still figuring myself out now. Because back then, men said that I had to date them because since I was damaged goods or since I walked funny, no decent man or no good man was ever going to want me. And Mr. No Heart is one of those. He's like, yeah, in my opinion, no good. he he is so despicable that he would brag that he bought his ex-wife jewelry for Christmas while he kept buying me stuffed animals. And I thought, the first year, like, okay, yeah, we still don't know each other that well, even though throughout the year I kept like noticing things that he needed around the house. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna surprise him with this and that. Even sheets or comforters and sheets and stuff because he had cigarette holes in his, and then video game controllers because his he claims that his daughters broke his. So I bought him two, one for the daughters, one for him. And I even said, label them so to make sure that if they damage one, you still have the other. He didn't listen to me and they broke both of them. Yeah. And see, but that's a different episode for a different day. So, but, and there was a couple other things that I got him too, but she noticed this. But at the same time, she was a no good bigot because I remember telling her the story about when I got pulled over by someone in Flint, a police officer, and how he made me empty my bag. And I told the whole story before, so go look that up. But it was, it might have not been a full hour, but it was almost an hour of this guy, questioning us, emptying my purse. Like, he spread stuff all in the back seat. Because I even remember about 2, 3 weeks, maybe a month later, I was looking for something and I could not find it. And then months later, I found it under the car seat. That, like, when I say he emptied it, he didn't put it in like one pile. He spread it out. He moved his arms all around to make it more of a headache. And then he patted down my ex for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then he did me and he took his dear time and he kept patting certain parts of my body and even making remarks to my ex. And since my ex had a little bit of a record, told him that if he moved or if he tried to do anything to protect me, that he was going to arrest him. So we just, whatever. I told her this story. I told her this story. And she told me, well, he had to find a reason to stop you. You're so pretty. Maybe he just needed to find a reason so that he would be able to get in contact with you. And I know I've talked about her a lot because she tested me. She tested my patience. She, like, even when I tried telling her about how both my parents went through segregation and desegregation, it's like she almost kind of laughed it off. And the thing is, she's not too far from their age either. She's not. So part of me wonders, huh, what side were you on? If I looked at your family tree, would I find any of your, what I was like, a part of me wonders, would I see your parents at some of the lynching photos? Because I think I would. I think I would, honestly, with how she treats black people, with all of the hateful, awful, terrible things she has said about black people. And this is all in my opinion. And whenever I talk about their racism, it's like, especially, I've told my ex and her response, I dated a black man. And my ex would be like, my mom dated a black man. Who gives who cares? Masters slept with their slaves. I mean, who cares? It's like, I don't know, just part of me just gets irritated when people say, but I've either dated one, or I have a next door neighbor, or I have a male guy, or I have some I work with that. No, that doesn't count. That, no. Stop. Be quiet. But okay, back to this, and I had to lay that all out because there's been times where sometimes I talk about my ex's mom, because sometimes people are like, why are you so careful with who you date? And because when I match with somebody, I try to make sure, like, okay, you're liberal or progressive or Democrat, but what are your parents? What's your family? Because even there was one guy that I matched with, but part of me is already kind of like, yeah, we're probably never gonna go, because majority of the rest of his family is MAGA. I've already sailed that ship. And some people are like, just date black people. Yeah, yeah. I've already told stories about that. And the thing is, I've tried. I do try, but a lot of times, compa- even though you're the same race, nationality, and everything, that doesn't mean you're compatible. Some people think just because two people are of the same, like, skin color and things like that, or same demographic, that they must be compatible. No, no, no. But okay, with this scenario, and especially after the Flint situation, and when I told her this story about the situation and her terrible just reasoning of, well, he just thought you were pretty. No, that was not it. He saw someone that was black and he wanted to see if he can arrest a black person. That's what he was. No, it's like, because even when I told her about the time when a police officer followed me for 15 to 20 minutes all the way to my house, to not only to my exit, my expressway exit, because yeah, he was on that. We were on the expressway. He followed me for at least 15 minutes, because I know the starting point of when he started following me, and then getting off the exit with me, and then making every right, left turn the same exact, even like him running lights, because there were lights where it was green for me, but he was trying to be far enough behind where he would think I didn't notice him, but then the light would be yellow or red, like, and he would just go back, like, because he's a cop, he can do whatever he wants. But then when I got into the subdivision, I'm like, okay, there's no reason for him to follow me or stop me. No, he follows me in. Get into the driveway, he blocks the driveway. He blocks the driveway. And so I'm like, okay, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm like, I didn't do anything. So I open up my garage door and I open my car door. And that's when he turns his lights on and he questions me. But then he had the nerve to say it's because my brake lights didn't work when I just had an oil change, and they just checked everything and everything worked fine. And the next morning when I told my father got a extra brick from the garage and put it on my brake, and everything was working perfectly. Nothing was wrong whatsoever. Whatsoever. So I know he was lying. He was making something up. He saw a black woman and he thought he would be able to arrest a black woman. And I told her that story too. But she was like, well, you're just so pretty. The police officers they just need a reason so they can talk to you. This was this idiot's reasoning. Absolute imbecile, awful, terrible human being. I layered, like, because I'm a writer, and one thing I try to think of is the dimensions of a character, because nothing's just flat. You don't just look at one piece of the puzzle and analyze an individual based off that. And so, with all of that, just think that the next time you're in a vehicle, after knowing all of this information, after telling this person the situations that I've told and their response, But then you get into a car with them, their car, and you see different stuff hanging from their rear view mirror. Yeah, I'm petty. And oh, but yeah, you guys are gonna need to know something else that shows their white privilege. But I just remember mentioning, well, why haven't the cops pulled you over for being pretty? Yeah, because I think we were on our way to the mall, or she was trying to take me somewhere to, I don't even know, but I just remember it was kind of like a girls' trip. I think it was her youngest daughter and my ex's daughters and I, and the mom and his mother, or the girl's grandmother, of course. But yeah, we get into grandma's car and I see stuff hanging on her rearview mirror. And I'm like, okay, so maybe we'll get pulled over because you're just so pretty, even though I don't think so. But you know what? Why not? Some cop, like, because, well, I know there's one person in the sheriff's department that thinks she's pretty because that's her husband. Yeah. And her response when she told me, well, we have an understanding. They know not to pull me over. That was basically what she said. They know not to pull her over. So she has the privilege of doing whatever she wants. And the same reason why I got pulled over, my bag emptied out, me touched and everything, and yeah, but it's just because I'm so pretty. But then she's breaking the same one. And I've told you guys how when I get in vehicles and I see things hanging from rear view mirrors, I get nervous. And I've even told someone, like, especially when I tell my white friends or so-called friends, they laugh. They have the privilege to laugh. Okay, understand your privilege. You get to laugh because a cop's probably not going to pull you over for that. That's why I got pulled over for stupid reasons. Brake light out when it wasn't out. My college graduation tassel hanging, but then I see people with 5 or 6 of those air things hanging from their rear view, or tassels, or those dice things. And sometimes I'm just like, how have you not gotten pulled over? Because I'm not even talking about one. I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 things hanging from their rear view mirror. But then I got pulled over because I had one, and we weren't speeding. Nothing, like, we weren't doing nothing wrong. I had my license, registration, proof of insurance. I had everything ready and lined up for. But then all of that happened over a college graduation tassel. Over that. Over that, and that is. But then when you're dating a guy who his mom, I think second or third husband, works for the sheriff department. And that's the thing, is like, out of all people, your husband works for the sheriff's department. And and also with Black Lives Matter, she was so appalled and everything. But then when Blue Lives Matter happened, oh, she was decorating her page all over the place with Blue Lives Matter. She was so disgusted with Black Lives Matter. But then when Blue Lives Matter, oh, all over her page. Yeah, yeah. And so when I broke up with my ex, I celebrated because I never had to talk to that woman again. I blocked her and her daughters and him, and okay, my ex's daughters and my ex's sisters. So yeah, that's what I mean. But the hatred and the racist, like, so it's okay for me to get pulled over for those reasons, but not you. And then your husband works for the sheriff's department. So, yeah, they're not going to pull you over. And then, oh, yeah, I will still never forget the night when she told me how and why each one of her children got arrested. Yeah, got arrested in jail. And they were going into detail. She's sipping her alcohol beverage and everything, and she's laughing, and she's just going into such detail. But then, oh, she got so mad at me because she said it was my turn. She said it was my turn. And so then I told her, well, none of us have been arrested. I don't have any stories for you. She acted like I was a liar. And she kept trying to quiz me and ask me really personal questions. And some of them were racist questions, but I I will never forget that night because she was trying to I realized she was just trying to warm me up. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to give her all this information because soon I am going to know how and why she's been arrested. Yeah, so I'm going to make sure I give her all the details about how this son and this daughter and the situations and how I got them out and how upset I was and everything. But then I didn't have anything to tell her. She got silent for majority of the night. She ignored me, just kind of like my ex. I guess that's where my ex gets it from because she really didn't want to talk to me for the rest of the night. And I kind of loved that. Because this is the same woman who tells me that I need to start listening to Candace Owens and that I need to start following and understanding her perspective, and that I just don't understand the African American community. And yes, and also she would, every time she would play African American country music, but I don't like country music. It's like I can listen to a little Dolly Parton here and there. And some Beyonce, she did her thing. Some people are gonna disagree with me. I don't care. Some people are gonna say that's not real country music when if you don't know the history of country music, especially how parts of it and like there's different hmm the culture of it and the backdrop of it kind of starts even from Africa. So if you're going to have the nerve to tell me what country music is, yeah, so you need to understand their country music branched out into different forms. So if you're going to be ignorant, at least try to look something up to educate yourself before you say something that naive. Okay? Okay. But yeah, this is the way she talked to me, the way she treated me. I have to be careful. And I hope a lot of you guys are careful. And the fact that I had to block her and her sisters, because yeah, I had to block my ex's aunts too. I don't think I blocked all of them because I don't know all of their maiden names. It's like before I blocked my ex, I had to go through like even my ex's mom, I had to kind of go through some of the images and write down last names that, like, especially when if it looked like they were at a family event and they're like at this or who this or whatever, I would write down the last names and then look them up. And I'm like, oh, yep, you're a cousin, block. You're an aunt, block. You're this family member, block. So my ex and some of the family members love going and hunting down or looking at his ex-wife's social media page to the point where he even made another social media page and or because she was probably going to block him at some point, and he wanted to make sure there was no record of his original. And it also, yeah, let's just say there's so many ways where my ex hated me. He loved taking advantage of me. He loved taking my money, even though he owes me. And I told him he owes me, but then he would blow me over or gaslight me or try to treat me like, oh no, well, since I have kids, yeah, you want my kids to be good, right? So, yeah, it's like, no, you're obligated because you're dating me. So you need to help me with my girls. You need to help me with my daughters. It's like, and you should be happy about that. Yeah. So, and the fact that, like, one of the things that there's over 100 reasons why I know this man hated me, but the fact that I have something that means a lot to me at his house, to some people it's nothing, but it helped me get through my master's. I asked for it back, and this is before we broke up. After my surgery, it's in the winter time. I want to stay warm. And so I asked him, can you just drop it off? And he told me, no. It's like, this will encourage you to get stronger. This will encourage you to be ready to drive again so you can come back and see me. And with his mother, she had kind of like that same, like, I don't know. Ugh. It's like, because the more I analyze him and then the more I think about how she treated me, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. But she will never see her privilege. She will never see her racism, because so many times she would say something racist, and then when I correct her, then she's like, well, I have a reason to be racist. One time when she had one too many beers, she said that she has reasons to be racist. Yeah. And I just remember that I waited 5 minutes because I didn't want it to be obvious of why I got up, because other family members, you know. And so I waited about 5 minutes and then I got up. Then I went to the guest room and then I turned on my laptop and I watched our cartoon president for the rest of the night. And my ex's oldest daughter came and joined me. And she even said that she is sorry that her grandmother sees me in such a horrible way, because she said, you're amazing. And she thinks you're amazing, but she also thinks dot, dot, dot. So, yeah, it's like, trust me, I know this country hates me. I know this country hates me. It's like she represents, like, the way she views me and the way that her city stared at me during that 4th of July event. Go look that episode of too. Oh, this is how parts of America sees us. They don't see much of us, and when the police pull us over, they don't care. They think that, oh yeah, you're black, so they have just reason. And or they will twist it around, oh, you're so pretty. Yeah, even though he touched you and you didn't want to be touched, even though you didn't do anything wrong, or even though I'm breaking the same law you are and 5 times over, it's like, yeah, you deserve to be pulled over, not me. Or my husband works for the sheriff department, so I'm never going to get pulled over for doing the same exact thing you did, but I have 5, 8, 10 things in my rear view. But yeah, I'm not going to get arrested because I have the privilege that I will never admit. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable, but most importantly, I am human and you're human too.